Hello, friends, and welcome back to TJKidz Super Fun Stories, where imagination becomes reality. Today's story is a little silly, a little stinky, and a whole lot of fun. It's about a fox with a farting problem, a skunk with a good heart, and a lesson about honesty and friendship. So grab a comfy spot, get cozy, and join me for this adventure. The Farting Fox and the Not-So-Stinky Skunk. Frankie Fox had just moved into the northern part of Whifflewood's forest. He was excited to meet new animals, explore the trails, and most importantly, find out what kind of berries grew in this part of the woods. Frankie loved berries. He munched them constantly. Blue ones, red ones, squishy ones, crunchy ones. He didn't discriminate. All berries had something to add to his flavor palette. The morning of his arrival in Whifflewoods, Frankie spotted some new berries near a log. "These look delicious," Frankie said as he popped some berries into his mouth. Just as Frankie was enjoying the flavor explosion in his mouth, he heard a voice nearby. "Hey there, are you new here?" Frankie turned and saw a friendly-looking skunk. "I'm Sedgwick," the skunk said. "Welcome to Whifflewoods." Frankie smiled, but just as he opened his mouth to reply, a loud toot escaped him. "Oh, excuse me," Frankie said, waving his paw behind him. "I'm a little gassy today. Sorry about that." Sedgwick chuckled. "No worries at all. Trust me, I know exactly what it's like. I'm a skunk. You don't think I have to deal with this kind of stuff every day?" They both laughed, and just like that, a friendship was born. Sedgwick introduced Frankie to the other forest animals, Binky the badger, Willow the rabbit, and Chip the chipmunk. They gathered near the bunny burrow to chat and snack. As they talked, Frankie felt another toot bubbling up. He tried to hold it in, but out it came. Frankie looked around dramatically. "Oh, gross! Who did that?" he said, waving his paw in front of his nose. "P.U." Then he glanced sideways at Sedgwick and raised his eyebrows as if to say, "We know it was you." Binky wrinkled his nose. "Oh, come on, Sedgwick. We've got a new guest. Mind your manners." Sedgwick looked confused. "It wasn't me," he said. Willow giggled. "Yeah, right." Later that day, Sedgwick pulled Frankie aside. "Hey, I didn't mind that first toot, but why did you blame me?" Frankie shrugged his shoulders. "I don't know. I got embarrassed. I didn't mean to. I promise it won't happen again." Sedgwick nodded. "Okay, just be honest next time." "No problemo," said Frankie. But a few days later, the animals got together again for the annual forest picnic. Frankie was munching his favorite purple berries again, as usual, when another few toots slipped out. He fanned the air and scrunched his nose. "Oh, Sedgwick," shouted Chip. "That's a powerful one." Sedgwick groaned. "It wasn't me." Frankie just shrugged and kept chewing. Then, "Gross," said Willow. "Seriously, Sedgwick? Party is over, guys." Then came the forest talent show. Frankie was watching Willow do her hip-hop dance when more toots popped out. "Sedgwick!" Blinky shouted. "Come on, dude! Right in the middle of her dance?" Sedgwick turned to Frankie. "Seriously?" Frankie whispered. "Sorry, It just slipped out. The final straw came during the forest council meeting. Frankie was sitting next to Sedgwick chewing berries when another loud toot escaped. "Sedgwick," said the owl elder, "this is a formal gathering. That will not be tolerated." Sedgwick stood up. "It wasn't me. Why does everyone always think it's me?" Then the animals all whispered to one another. Frankie stayed quiet. The next day, Sedgwick didn't show up to the Bunny Burrow hangout, or the trail walk, or the evening Firefly Watch event. Frankie asked around. "Anyone seen Sedgwick?" Willow shrugged. "He probably just feels guilty for stinking us all out." Frankie felt a pit in his stomach. He hadn't meant to hurt Sedgwick. He just didn't know how to admit the truth. Later that afternoon, Frankie was with the animal friends, trying to hold in a toot. Without Sedgwick around, there was no one to blame. He started to panic, sweat beads dripping from his forehead. He clenched his belly, crossed his legs, and a loud, stinky toot burst out. "Whoa, Frankie!" shouted Chip. "That's so gross!" Binky waved his paw. "Dude, what did you eat? That stinks!" Frankie slumped forward with his head down. "Sorry," he mumbled. He wandered off alone, kicking the dirt, feeling miserable. As he was walking back to his den, he heard a familiar voice. "Hey, Frankie." It was Sedgwick, sitting on a log near the creek. Frankie walked over and sat beside him. "I messed up." Sedgwick didn't say anything. "I blamed you," Frankie continued. "I was embarrassed. I didn't know what else to do. I can't stop farting." Sedgwick looked at him. "You embarrassed me, and now everyone thinks I'm rude and stinky." "I know," Frankie said. "I'm really sorry. I'll tell the truth. I promise." Sedgwick tilted his head. "How long have you had this gas problem?" Frankie thought about it. About a month." "And when did you start eating those berries you're always munching on?" Frankie looked up in the sky, thinking. "Maybe about a month ago." Sedgwick picked up one of the berries and sniffed it. "I think it might be the berries." "You think so?" Frankie asked. "They're so good. I don't know if I can stop eating them." Sedgwick popped one in his mouth. "Oh, wow, these are delicious." Then Sedgwick tooted. They both burst out laughing. "I think we found our cause," Sedgwick said. The next day, Frankie and Sedgwick gathered with the forest friends. "I have something to say," Frankie began. "All those toots, they were me, not Sedgwick. I was embarrassed and I blamed him. I'm really sorry for lying to all of you." Sedgwick stepped forward. "Turns out, it wasn't just Frankie's fault. It was the berries he's always eating." Frankie held up a handful. "These purple ones. They're super tasty, but they make you super gassy." Chip grabbed one. "Let me try." Willow popped one in her mouth. Binky munched on one as well. "They're amazing." Then Chip tooted, and Willow followed. And Binky joined in. They all burst into laughter. "Okay," said Sedgwick. "Maybe we save these berries for special occasions." "Agreed," Frankie said. "We'll make it a monthly thing. Berry Toot Day." And from then on, The animals celebrated Berry Toot Day once a month. They'd gather in the clearing, eat the magical berries, and giggle at each other's toots. Sedgwick felt welcome again. Frankie felt that he had no secrets to hide and could be himself. And everyone learned that sometimes the truth might stink, but it's always better than blaming your friends. The end. And that is the end of our stinky story, friends. Woo! I can still smell those stinky toots from here. But I'm so glad that Frankie came clean and Sedgwick got his good name back. But this story reminds me of a good moral. Sometimes we get embarrassed and make choices that hurt others, even if we don't mean to. But when we're honest, we give people a chance to understand us. And that's how real friendships grow. Also, maybe don't eat mystery berries without checking what they do to your tummy. Well, that's it for today, friends. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one. Toodles!